You can do this, pop it right here, or just turn it around.
One great thing about barbecue is that there are so many different methods and ways of cooking it. And recently I had the opportunity to attend a backyard barbecue class hosted by Xtreme Outdoors and the Natural Born Grillers cooking team.
That's how much juice you should be getting back.
So in this video, I'm taking you with me and we'll be highlighting some of the techniques I learned in the class, right here on Lunacy Queuing. What's up, my good people? Learning new things in barbecue is something I'm always open to. So this was a Saturday at Xtreme Outdoors in Feria, Texas. They were hosting a backyard barbecue class, so I made it out to their shop. They have a large assortment of barbecue rubs, barbecue accessories, various types of grills and smokers, and even apparel. I checked out the shop for a bit and then I headed outside where the Natural Born Grillers cooking team was set up to give the class. They also had a bunch of smokers and pits set up out there as well, so let me show you a few.
The barbecue pits, it looks like these are rebranded as Bucks, but this is like the Rio Grande Old Country. This is the G2, but of course rebranded into Bucks. Here's the Vaquero, the G3.
Now just a little note here, I was explained that these pits and smokers were rebranded under an agreement, so no need to worry. Now let's cover some of the subjects mentioned in the class. Whole chicken selections and prep tips.
Here, and then you just pop it. Grab the other. There's two different ways that you can do this. You can do this, pop it right here, or just turn it around. And now you can see the full bone. Pop it like that. Now, another thing that you want to do is, you see all these little broken bones and stuff? You want to take all this off. Look, all the gizzards, all the anything that's red like that, you want to take it off because it's going to give you a bitter taste. Now, what I'm going to do here is just clean it up a little bit right here. Usually this is where it has the most fat because of the neck, right? You can just do it like that. That's pretty much it. You know, you want to keep the tail, You want a little bit better presentation. If you guys want to season the inside, y'all can just move this back. You know, just take out all that excess fat right there if you want to. This is more like a competition stuff.
Another note worth mentioning was that most chicken you buy at supermarkets has been plumped or water chilled. Chicken dunked in chlorinated cold water absorbs 8 to 15% extra water weight compared to air chilled chicken. Plus you are paying per pound for that water. This leads to a blander, soggier product, which will be harder for you to crisp the skin. Compared to air chilled chicken or chicken you buy from a local poultry meat supplier that's chilled fresh with cold air. This kind of poultry has more natural, intense flavors and is easier to get that golden crispy skin. These spatchcocked all-natural whole chickens in the end turned out to be crispy, juicy, and full of flavor. Now let's move on to another subject that was covered in the class. Ribeye selections. What are Tri-Heart ribeyes?
So I did find these, and they were the only ones that I found that have the, you know, Tri-Hearts.
Tri-Hearts are often referred to as Tri-Heart ribeyes, generally refers to specific highly coveted section of the ribeye roast, usually from the chuck end that features a prominent, perfectly balanced trio of muscles, the eye, the complexus, and the spinalis. These type of steaks are sought after for having 3 distinct textures and flavors in one bite. The eye, the longissimus dorsi, is the main central tender muscle of the ribeye. The complexus is the smaller muscle located near the eye. And finally, the spinalis, or the cap or crown, is the most flavorful, tender, marbled outer muscle considered to be the best part of the ribeye. These Tri-Heart cuts are typically found in the first few inches of the ribeye roast, close to the chuck. They are distinct from the heart of the ribeye, a specific highly trimmed cut. These ribeyes were first cooked for a few minutes on the grill, then they were directly seared on the coals. This is a little different than what I'm used to, but I was eager to try.
fire
Like a
sale.
lot of people would think it's getting burned. Or
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just let it be.
The ribeyes were then taken off the coals and finished back up on the grill. You would think that there would be a higher temp coming straight off the coals, but they were barely temping at 106 degrees.
This one right here is at 106.
Once the ribeyes temped at about 130 degrees, they were taken off the grill and rested for about 15 minutes in a covered foil pan. Cosmo's prime steak rub would be the final touch on these ribeye steaks. And once these steaks were cut into, you can see a delicious, juicy red pink inside. Yummy. Once the ribeye was cut, it was placed back in the foil pan. Then the finishing touch of seasoning was added. Everybody in the class got to have a bite, and I can honestly say that there wasn't any bits of lump charcoal on the meat like you might have thought. It was a medium doneness and super juicy. It went great with the ice cold beer provided.
Let me catch a cheers there. Cheers, brother.
There was also a lot of other dishes being cooked in the class, and tips were given on how to cook these as well. There was some grilled onion that was finished off with a squeeze of lime and a finishing touch of seasoning. Also cooked were some Texas sweetbreads or mollejas that were finished off with some lime and some seasoning as well. And you can't have a South Texas barbecue without some fajitas. These were delicious. One other interesting item they had on hand was some Wagyu beef sausage with cheese and jalapenos. It was provided by Bob Stark's Meat Market in McAllen, Texas. It was some of the tastiest sausage I have ever had. After everything was said and done, I got a chance to do a quick interview with Elias, who was giving the class.
Hey guys, here with Elias from Natural Born Grillers. Good to see you, Elias, here at the event. Tell us a little bit how you got started with Natural Born Grillers and how long you've been doing it.
I've been doing it since about 2002 or so. Just starting out like everybody else does, backyard, you know, burning meat and learning and, you know, from experiences or fails, you know, week to week. And then just, you know, that's pretty much how everybody started, I guess.
Right. And then I understand from the backyard, you transitioned over to catering.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that transition, how it went.
Yeah, that was a little bit different because me and my brother invested on a big barbecue pit. We just had it parked there, and everybody kept telling us, "What are y'all gonna do with it?" So my wife said, "Go sell plates." I was like, "I've never cooked for anybody but our family," so I went out. You know, it was kind of just hit and miss, I guess, and I started selling maybe 20 plates a week, or not a week, but every Friday. And then from there, it just escalated into 60, 70, 80. And then people started acquiring about, catering, how much.
I understand from the backyard to catering, and then it transitioned over eventually to competition barbecue.
Yeah.
How was that transition? And tell us a little bit about that.
One thing that helped me a lot is, you go on and you do 2-3 competitions and you don't get a call and you're going up against some really good cooks. What I did is I went to an event. I took that event off. There was a thunderstorm coming in or whatever. So I went and I judged. And that was the best thing because now you get to try everybody's food. And I judged chicken, ribs, and brisket. So that thing is what helped me a lot. I was like, wow.
So you have an idea of what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't know I could sauce. I didn't know you could do this. Actually, you got to pay attention at the cooks meeting because they tell you that, but a lot of people just don't pay attention. After I did that, I just, I'm not gonna say I took off, but I started doing a lot better.
You expanded from what you knew.
Well, I started doing way better. So
one last thing, anybody out there that's considering going into catering or competition barbecue, tell us a little bit from the transition from backyard over to suppose catering, what to expect. A little bit of differences and any advice you can give to people out there, what to expect and what to prepare themselves to.
Yeah, they're both tough. The thing with catering is you want to keep it kind of simple, not bland, but simple, where everybody's taste buds are going to be. Because, let's say you have a catering for 200 people. You got to satisfy 200 people, you know what I mean? And then in catering, in competition, you have 6 judges and you're trying to
elevate the flavor.
Yes, exactly. So it's a hit and miss with the competition, but with the catering, you got to stick to your thing.
More of a balance of flavors.
So I've been using the same seasonings and rubs and all that stuff for catering. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a simple, more consistent rub than it is in competition. Because in competition, everything changes.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kicked up a notch.
Some people are starting to use more sweet heat or whatever.
Based out of
McAllen, Texas.
McAllen, Texas. Check them out. They also have an apparel company. You wanna plug
Pitmaster
that?
Apparel Company. Yeah, we got some
Cap.
somewhere over here. It's a lot of work though.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
I'm
work.
sure it is. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Elias. We'll see you on the next event.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
This event was hosted by Xtreme Outdoors in La Feria, Texas. Very reasonably priced. I will post on my Facebook page if they host events like these in the future. I strongly recommend taking one of these type of classes if you get a chance. It definitely helps improve your barbecue game. Hope you all are doing well, mi gente. If this is the first time on the channel, please show support and subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to help show support as well. I appreciate you all watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.